A fierce storm raged as Qin plunged his sword into a ghoulish creature, fury igniting the air around him. A fierce confrontation crackled with tension as Qin threatened a rival, anger surging through the swirling magical energy. A tall building loomed against a clear sky, birds soaring freely around it. Felt frustrated as she complained about the closed delivery places and recalled how Qin always cooked for her without her lifting a finger. Qin focused intently, his gaze fixed on an unseen target with fierce purpose. Felt a surge of determination, motivating herself to stay strong and focused despite her frustrations about food and her connection to Qin. A serene beach stretched out as waves gently lapped against the shore, a brief moment of calm amid the chaos. A mysterious sound echoed from the dark cave entrance, stirring curiosity and caution in Qin. A giant crab burst from the ground, scattering debris with its massive claws. Qin prepared to face the looming threat without hesitation. The giant crab unleashed a powerful energy blast, filling the air with tension and fury. Qin stood triumphantly, boasting about his recent victories and the evolution points and loot he had gained from 4 silver bosses. Qin focused intently as shimmering energy surrounded him, analyzing his skills and limitations with a strategic mindset. Qin pointed at the experience bar, calculating how quickly he needed to reach stealth level 3. Tension hung in the air as Qin prepared for the next battle, recalling how 20 people once needed to raid a single foe. He decided to head back to town and sell the loot. Qin stood resolute, declaring his ambition to achieve the TM's first platinum boss kill all by himself. The sun dipped low, casting an ominous orange hue over a grand building, stirring curiosity in a young man with dark hair. He observed the building, intrigued by its imposing presence. A cheerful character waved goodbye to a calm and composed figure, expressing excitement for future trades of nearly 40,000 days of tradable. A shadowy figure stood silently, the air thick with anticipation as a confident and inquisitive young man approached. Qin asked if the figure was Shadow, seeking confirmation. A sly smile crossed the young man's face as he confidently offered a lucrative job to the listener. A tense atmosphere enveloped the scene as a cloaked figure turned away from Qin. Qin watched, surprise flashing across his face. A tense confrontation unfolded as Qin anxiously pleaded with the hooded figure, desperately offering information in exchange for his life. A calculating figure contemplated a plot against Qin as intrigue filled the air. He questioned why someone would want Qin dead, pondering the worth of the hit. The masked figure sensed a deeper connection to his target, recalling past grudges. He noted the need to be cautious, aware that enemies were still in the shadows. Qin embraced a playful character with a charming smile, surrounded by floating hearts. A tense negotiation unfolded between a mysterious figure and Qin over a contract for assassination. The masked figure revealed the complexities behind the hit on Qin. A worried character asked for authorization regarding the deposit payment, his gaze fixed on a glowing object. Qin gestured towards a shadowy figure, both observing the glowing objects illuminating their surroundings with an unsettling allure. A transaction unfolded in shadows, as a cloaked figure transferred tradable to a determined warrior, Qin, with a cunning glint in his eye. A tense atmosphere thickened as a cloaked figure faced a young man with dark hair, annoyance radiating from him. The cloaked figure retorted to Qin, suggesting they both worked for Miss. A sense of urgency filled the air as an unknown character raised her hand, signaling Qin to halt. A confident woman enthusiastically offered coordinates for a gold-tier boss to Qin, her persuasive tone promising great rewards. The confident woman explained that payment was due upon confirmation and gestured for Qin to follow her north of town. Qin prepared to confront feeling the weight of the battle ahead. Character 2 warned him about the boss's poison abilities. Character 1 offered to guide him through the encounter. Qin determinedly stated he needed to defeat it quickly. A foreboding atmosphere loomed as a determined woman pointed toward a cave and revealed the boss was inside, while her team had already fallen against it. A tense atmosphere filled the dimly lit tunnel as a cautious woman walked towards the exit, aware of the cloaked figure trailing her. A foreboding tension hung in the air as a determined warrior pointed excitedly into the dark recesses of the cave. A dark, twisted tree loomed ominously, its glowing red and green elements casting an eerie light over the scene. Qin observed the tree, his expression revealing deep concern. An armored figure stood near him, radiating anxious energy as they both took in the sight. The air thickened with tension as a determined warrior discussed the importance of evasion in the face of an imminent threat. A mysterious woman urgently warned him about the trap waiting ahead. He dismissed her concern, focusing instead on the challenge that lay before him. A confident woman stood tall, sword in hand, revealing her plan to get close to Qin and discover his true identity. Qin expressed his contempt for the plan, his frustration evident as shadows surrounded him. A tense face-off unfolded in the shadowy setting as a fearful but determined woman revealed a secret to Qin. She insisted on sharing the truth about a dangerous plot. Qin listened intently, his curiosity piqued by her words. A hooded figure stood silently, adding to the atmosphere of unease. A tense confrontation escalated as a desperate and assertive woman insisted that eliminating Xian was crucial for their survival. The mysterious figure coldly threatened to kill the boss, dismissing her concerns. A determined warrior stood on a rocky ledge, strategizing as a ghostly figure loomed ominously behind him. Qin devised a clever plan to outmaneuver their enemies. A chaotic scene unfolded as a determined warrior observed a shadowy figure poised for battle. Qin realized the impending danger of the TM's reckless attack. A cloaked figure extended a hand, surrounded by swirling ethereal energy as the atmosphere grew ominous. Qin declared it was time for a blessed release. A menacing creature with a glowing core surged amidst the chaos, signaling a critical moment in the battle. Qin activated a powerful attack enhancement, preparing for the confrontation ahead. Swirling shadows parted as a determined warrior emerged, his intense glowing eyes reflecting an ominous resolve. A dark and malevolent figure unleashed a glowing strike, its intent filled with anger. Qin, resolute, deftly deflected the attack with precision. Tension hung thick in the air as a determined warrior prepared to face the ominous entity looming before him. Qin, his glowing weapon for the impending confrontation. A powerful blow struck the gold-level boss and shock rippled through the arena. Qin examined the damage, astonished by the sheer amount dealt. Qin stood confidently, plotting his next move while an ominous energy swirled around him. He decided to wait for the enemies to arrive. The air crackled with tension as a determined warrior prepared to confront the looming threat inside the cave. An aggressive figure directed the group to kill the boss without mercy. A curious female character questioned the strength of the TMs. The atmosphere thickened with anticipation as they themselves for battle. A determined warrior raised a glowing shield, ready to block an imminent attack, determination etched on his face. Qin observed a woman wielding a large golden shield with impressive defense, noting how few could surpass it early in the game. Qin braced himself as a powerful force surged toward him, determined to shield against the impending strike. Qin stared intensely, his glowing eyes revealing a fierce determination that electrified the air around him. A determined warrior with dark hair stood resolutely, bracing himself as three furious attackers charged at him. He raised his shield, ready to block their relentless assault. Moments later, the first attacker lunged forward, aiming for a decisive strike. Qin unleashed a powerful attack, striking down multiple enemies in a fierce display of strength and determination. Swirling golden energy surrounded a determined warrior with dark hair as he focused on harnessing a curse. A fiery backdrop illuminated a playful scene where Qin exchanged teasing banter with a flirtatious female character. She offered special services with a mischievous smile, making Qin chuckle. Moments later, he responded playfully, returning her charm with a wink. A cloaked figure stood in contemplation, reflecting on the implications of a woman's life choices and the harsh reality they brought. A cloaked figure unleashed dark energy, casting an ominous shadow over the scene. The female character stood defiantly against the menacing force approaching her. A cloaked figure stood before a glowing orb, reflecting on the aftermath of a hard-fought battle. The cloaked figure questioned Qin about his recent victory. Qin dismissed the inquiry, stating he was leaving immediately. Qin extended his hands, summoning a vibrant spell that crackled with energy and illuminated the dark surroundings. A masked character with silver hair observed a fallen assassin's skill book, intrigued by its unexpected arrival. A A shadowy figure wielded a glowing blade, unleashing an explosion of black light. Qin confidently cast a blinding spell, ready to confront the mysterious threat. Qin held a glowing weapon, confident in his strategy to blind enemies and trigger double damage against the boss, regardless of anti-stealth measures. A menacing glow radiated from the plague blade as a determined warrior prepared for confrontation. A determined warrior stood on the beach, surveying the scene of small sea creatures with a focused expression. Qin reflected on his accumulated evolution points, eager to upgrade his skills soon. Alarmed, a surprised crab exclaimed in shock at the warrior's presence. A chaotic scene erupted as terrified fish fled from a looming threat above, panic driving them in all directions. A surge of energy surrounded a young man with dark hair as he expressed relief about advancing his job. Golden energy swirled around a determined warrior, radiating power and intensity as he channeled his focus into the chaotic force. A glowing notification appeared around a surprised young man with dark hair, signaling a significant job advancement. A determined warrior assessed his tier status, surrounded by a whirlwind of swirling energy. A powerful aura enveloped Qin as he confidently analyzed his job attributes and passive skills. An urgent notification echoed through the air, announcing the eligibility of players for the teleportation to the God-abandoned continent. A flickered with names, reminding a young man with dark hair of familiar faces from a past life. He observed thee and noted how many players had reached level 10. He recalled the previous life when foreign players dominated the rankings. Qin reflected on his past actions, believing they might alter the world's situation, feeling hopeful about the changes ahead. A panoramic view of a city skyline at night revealed scattered birds flying against a melancholic backdrop. A masked prisoner was escorted down a city street, surrounded by determined officers. A police officer saluted and reported that the main members of a criminal group had been arrested. A commanding figure issued orders to his comrades, directing them to notify and find a way to force the suspects offline. Explosions rattled the air as two determined warriors discussed their strategy amidst the chaos. A confident man highlighted the importance of Shadow's intelligence in their plan. Qin expressed urgency about Shadow, insisting they must find a way to completely tie him to their ship. A picturesque town square emerged, showcasing grand architecture and a towering clock, a serene moment before the storm. A cloaked figure stood confidently in an urban backdrop, a woman admiring his bravery while questioning his motives. She expressed her admiration for him as a hero eliminating harm for the people. A determined warrior listened intently as a confident woman explained the urgent situation regarding conspiracies in the game world. A mysterious figure stood near the teleportation array, discussing the increasing number of people utilizing it. A determined warrior stood amidst swirling flames, excitement coursing through him as he prepared to teleport to the God-abandoned continent. A glowing, mysterious portal shimmered before the characters, casting an enchanting light that filled the air with a sense of awe and anticipation. Qin stared at the portal, astonished by its otherworldly presence. The concerned figure looked at Qin, sharing a worried glance. An intrigued woman observed the portal, her curiosity piqued by the radiant glow. A chaotic energy swirled around a determined warrior who remained alert in the midst of glowing shadows. He wondered why he couldn't see the shadow boss. The realization struck him. The boss's stealth level surpassed his own. Sure enough, it felt just like his previous life. A cloaked figure stood amidst the ruins, their gaze fixed on the familiar cityscape in the fading light. They pondered the mystery surrounding the identical geographical locations. A tense atmosphere enveloped the scene as a determined warrior, his stance for an intense confrontation. Qin focused intensely on the glowing aura surrounding him, lost in deep thought about his next move in the game. A menacing creature loomed above a determined warrior, casting a long shadow filled with tension. Qin confronted the creature, his resolve unwavering in the face of danger. A powerful attack erupted from a determined warrior, sending debris flying in every direction. A triumphant slash cut through the air as Qin unleashed his powerful attack on the Earth Shaker, asserting his dominance in the battle. A looming threat approached, and Qin reacted with alarm, focused, and alert. A shadowy figure in a cloak hovered ominously above the destruction, exuding an unsettling presence amid the ruins. A powerful shadow attack erupted from a determined warrior, filling the air with an intense energy. Qin stood amidst glowing ruins, aware that safe zones no longer existed as monsters lurked, ready to attack at any moment. Glowing orbs illuminated the crumbling city as a determined warrior revealed a crucial shelter location to those desperate for safety. A determined warrior stood on a rooftop, gazing down at the sprawling cityscape, recalling the shelter of his previous TM's guild. He contemplated the god-slaying guild's shelter with a mix of nostalgia and resolve. If you'd like to see your favorite titles retold, leave a comment, and I'll be sure to pick some of them up from time to time. Also, let me know which video format you like more, long videos or short ones. Don't forget to like and subscribe. See you again soon.